So we'll just beginning by singing Jaya, Anilo, Prema, Dhana, and then today we will have some discussion on this wonderful personality in our movement. Hare Krishna. Jaya, Anilo, Prema, Dhana, Karuna Prachodaya Anilo Jaya Anilo Prema Dhana Karuna Prachodaya Heno Prabhu Kotha Gela Charya Thakur Heno Prabhu Heno Prabhu Kotha Gela Charya Thakur Heno Prabhu Kahamora Swarup Rupa Kaha Sanatan Kamara Kaha Dasa Raghunatha Patita Pavan Kahamora Bhata Yuga Kaha Kavira Eka Kale Kotha Gela Gauranatara Pashane Kutibo Mata Anale Pashibo Gaurange Gunera Nidhi Kotha Gela Pabo Se Sabasangira Sange Ye Koilo Bilal Se Sangana Paya Kande Naratamada Anilo Prema Dhana Karuna Prachor Heno Prabhu Kotha Gela Acharya Thakur Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki. Sorry, mistake. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. 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 Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we are here today in this very, very auspicious place, ISKCON Juhu, Srila Prabhupada's office. Today we are honoring the disappearance day of Srila Rupa Goswami. Before I begin, I pray for your blessings, for your permission to speak. All of my seniors are here. All of you who have done so much service for Srila Prabhupada, who have been so exemplary in your devotional lives and a great inspiration. So please bless me that I can say something. And please, my deep gratitude for welcoming us here and hosting us. Just for those of you who I have never met before, I'm your servant. By Krishna's grace, I was able to take birth at Bhaktivedanta Manor. That's where my spiritual birth took place. And for the last 2 decades, I was staying there, trying to do some service for Srila Prabhupada, and nowadays traveling, and very happy to be here in Mumbai. So today we're reading from Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter number 7, entitled Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features. Today we're reading from text number 171. This is a very, very famous verse. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his infinite humility, at the conclusion of every single chapter of the Caitanya Charitamrita, is offering his deep respects to Rupa and Raghunath. Of course, Kaviraj Goswami, he was first given the direction to go to Vrindavan in a dream by Nityananda Prabhu. He was in his home place, and Nityananda's great devotee, Miniketana Ramdas, was offended. And then Kaviraj Goswami felt so bad that a Vaishnav had been offended in his home. So all night he was lamenting. And then in the dream that night, Nityananda Prabhu came to him and told him, Are Hare Krishna Das, na karaha bhai. Vrindavana yaha taha sarvalabhya hai. Hare Hare Krishna Das, so dear Krishna Das, na karaha bhai, don't be worried, do not fear anything. When you wake up tomorrow, Vrindavana yaha taha, go to Vrindavan, sarvalabhya hai. And there in Vrindavan, you will receive everything. So the next morning, Kaviraj Goswami had no hesitation. He just woke up and he just left for Vrindavan. This is the great quality of someone who is surrendered to their spiritual master. That as soon as the order comes, they execute it without hesitation. And therefore, when he went to Vrindavan, Sarva Labhya Hai, indeed he did. He got everything. He got the topmost residence in the entire universe because he was able to reside where? Radha Kund. He got the topmost association in the universe because he was associating with who? The Goswamis of Vrindavan. And he received the topmost service in the universe because he was requested by the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan that you please write Caitanya Charitamrita. So Nityananda Prabhu represents Guru, and within the instruction of the Guru is all the spiritual wealth waiting for the disciple. And therefore Srila Prabhupada again and again would tell us the secret of success is to accept the orders of the spiritual master as one's life and soul. So Kaviraj Goswami came to Vrindavan. Why does he offer his respects to Rupa and Raghunath? Because Raghunath Das Goswami was the one who gave him all the information so that he could write Caitanya Charitamrita, isn't it? Mahaprabhu was having his pastimes and his assistant, Swarup Damodar, was the one who was noting everything down. But Swarup Damodar, his diaries were lost. But there was one saving grace because Swarup Damodar had communicated everything to Raghunath Das Goswami. Because Raghunath Das Goswami, when he had renounced and run away from home and come to Puri, then Mahaprabhu said, you stay under Swarup Damodar's shelter. You will be known as Swarupera Raghunath. Raghunath, who is the property of Swarup. And therefore Raghunath Das Goswami knew everything that happened in Mahaprabhu's life. But when Mahaprabhu left, Raghunath Das Goswami was so much in lamentation, he decided, I will jump from Govardhan Hill and commit suicide. The three most spiritual ways to commit suicide. Number one, jump from Govardhan. Number two, get crushed by the Rath Yatra cart. Or number three, jump into the Triveni Sangam. So Raghunath said, I will jump. Rupa Goswami told him, no. You know so much about Mahaprabhu. You know all the secrets. You know so much of what happened in those days in the Gambhira. You have to communicate all of this knowledge to Kaviraj Goswami. He will document it. So Kaviraj Goswami offers his respects to Raghunath Das because that's where he got all the information. And he offers his respects to Rupa Goswami because Rupa Goswami is the Rasa Acharya. He is the head of the Goswamis. Although Sanatan Goswami is the oldest, Rupa Goswami is known to be the leader because Rupa Goswami had the deepest insights into rasa. And therefore, this beautiful verse is what Kaviraj Goswami says as at the conclusion of every single chapter. So please repeat after me. Shri Rupa Raghunath Pade Jara Ash Caitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das. Shri Rupa Raghunath Pade Jare Ash Caitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das. Shri Rupa Raghunath Pade Jare Ash Caitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das. Matajis. Raghunath Padachare Ash. Raghunath Padachara Ash. Shri Rupa, Srila Rupa Goswami, Raghunath, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Pade, at the lotus feet, Jara, whose, Asha, expectation, Caitanya Charitamrita, the book name Caitanya Charitamrita. Kohe describes Krishna Das, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to preach the Sankirtan movement of love of Krishna throughout the entire world, and therefore during his presence he inspired the Sankirtan movement. Specifically, he sent Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami to Vrindavan and Nityananda to Bengal, and personally went to South India. In this way, he kindly left the task of preaching his call in the rest of the world to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The members of this society must always remember that if they stick to the regulative principles and preach sincerely according to the instructions of the Acharyas, surely they will have the profound blessings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and their preaching work will be successful everywhere throughout the world. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada arrived in New York in 1965. He was all alone, he had no support, he had no money, he had no strategy, and he had no one helping him in his desire to expand the mission of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada was sitting on a bench in New York, and one Mr. Reuben came. He said, when I saw this person, I felt, he is all alone, this old man from a foreign country. He said it was a strange sight to see such a person in New York. He said, I went up to him and I told him, who are you? He said, Srila Prabhupada said, I've come from India to fulfill the order of my spiritual master. And then he said, the Swami looked at me and said, there are books, there are temples, there are thousands of devotees. There is a worldwide international society. Only time is separating us from them. Yes, Srila Prabhupada had that deep conviction. Prithivite achayata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachara hoibe mora nam. That Mahaprabhu's mission will be spread everywhere. And because I've been given the instruction by my spiritual master, simultaneously he has also invested me with the empowerment to make it happen. And therefore Srila Prabhupada had that vision, that faith, that complete fearlessness to go to America all alone. Srila Prabhupada founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in the Western world. Srila Prabhupada was following in the footsteps of his predecessor, Srila Rupa Goswami, because Rupa Goswami was the one who initially had formed the mission to fulfill the desire of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Caitanya manobhishtam stapitam yena bhutale Svayam Rupa kadamayam dadati swa padantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami, who has established within this world the mission to fulfill the desire of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when will that Rupa Goswami give me shelter at his lotus feet? So Srila Prabhupada was meditating very, very deeply on this verse. And therefore, before he came to America, he indeed decided to take shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, and he took up residence in Radha Damodar Temple, Vrindavan. There, between 1959 and 1965, Srila Prabhupada was studying, he was writing, he was praying, he was pleading, he was begging Rupa Goswami that you please give me your mercy, you please give me your shelter, and you please give me your empowerment so that we can spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. In fact, one Babaji of the Radha Damodar temple, he tells the story of how one night he woke up hearing someone crying. He walked up onto the veranda and he looked down into the courtyard of the Radha Damodar temple, and there he saw Srila Prabhupada with a broom sweeping in front of the samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Prabhupada was crying, he was praying, my spiritual master has given me such a difficult task, please give me your mercy, please give me your mercy. In this way he observed practically how Srila Prabhupada was taking shelter of Srila Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami was completely empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this Krishna consciousness. Every Acharya is known for different things. Haridas Thakur is known as the Nam Acharya. Jiva Goswami is known as the Tattva Acharya. Raghunath Das Goswami is known as the Prayojana Acharya. But Rupa Goswami is known as the Rasacharya, because Mahaprabhu invested him with the deepest insights into Rasa Tattva. When we look at the life of Rupa Goswami, one way we can see his progression is through his 3 meetings with Caitanya Mahaprabhu. The first meeting with Mahaprabhu took place in Ramakeli. The second meeting with Mahaprabhu took place at Prayag. And the third meeting with Mahaprabhu took place in Jagannath Puri. And in each of these 3 meetings, we are learning a different quality of Rupa Goswami that contributed to his incredible empowerment. The first place where Rupa Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu physically was in Ramakeli. Of course, Rupa Goswami was already having dreams of Mahaprabhu, and therefore even before physically meeting Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami was writing letters. And he was pleading to Mahaprabhu that I want to run away, I just want to be with you. And Mahaprabhu was writing letters back to him, telling him, no, stay where you are. Rupa Goswami received one message from Mahaprabhu. Paravyasinini nari vyagrapi grihakarmashu tadeva svadayatyantar navasanga rasayanam. Mahaprabhu wrote a letter to Rupa Goswami. Paravyasinini nari, when there is a lady who is married, but she is attached to another lover, then what should she do? She has to stay at home and she has to serve her husband with even more attention so that no one will suspect that she's given her heart to someone else. And in this way, Rupa Goswami was being told by Mahaprabhu that you stay in Ramakeli for some time. But then Mahaprabhu, eventually he came to Ramakeli. And when Rupa Goswami meets Mahaprabhu in Ramakeli, what we are learning is humility. In this meeting, the extreme humility of Rupa Goswami is coming out and being displayed. Because when Rupa Goswami meets Mahaprabhu, then what does he say? Matsamo nasti papatma naparadi chakaschana parihare pilajame kimbruve purushottama. Rupa Goswami looks at Mahaprabhu and says, Matsamo nasti papatma, you will never meet someone as sinful as me. Na paradi chakaschana parihare pilajame. I'm constantly offending others. There is no good in my life. You will not find someone more fallen than me. Rupa Goswami, with straw in his teeth, comes before Mahaprabhu and in the most humble of moods surrenders himself to Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami's humility is so deep. Mahaprabhu tells him, I can't deal with your humility, as breaking my heart. Aji hoite dunhar naam rupa sanatan, dainya chadi dainya tomar fate mor aman. Mahaprabhu says, Aji hoite, from today, Donhar Naam, your names will be Rupa Sanatan. Then what does Mahaprabhu say? Dainya Chadi, give up your humility. Dainya Tomar, because your humility, Fate Mora Man, is breaking my heart. This is the first key. If one wants to become an empowered devotee, if one wants to become an instrument, if one wants to be part of this amazing movement and become instrumental in serving the desires and wishes of Sriman Mahaprabhu, it must begin with humility. One devotee used to say to me, if you're not perfect, then you should be humble. But when you're humble, then you're perfect. So if you're not perfect, then you should be humble. But the moment you embody humility in your heart, then you become perfect. Because in that humility, you become completely dependent on Guru, Gauranga and the Vaishnavas. And when you become dependent on Guru, Gauranga and the Vaishnavas, anything is possible. Because then you become an instrument. If you're proud, you can't last. If you're proud, you can't learn. And if you're proud, you can't love. The biggest block in the life of a devotee is to overcome their own pride. Because if you are proud, you cannot last. Because definitely a proud person will commit offenses. Definitely a proud person will become familiar. And definitely a proud person will therefore be removed. Because Krishna does not tolerate any of those things. But even if somehow or other a proud person lasts in the Hare Krishna movement, a proud person can never learn. Because a proud person thinks they already know everything. In English we say a proud person is full of it. And full of it means there's no room for anything new to go in. And even if somehow a proud person lasts and they learn, they cannot love. Because to love, you have to think about other people. But when we are proud, then we are self-absorbed. When we are proud, we think we are the center of everything. They say when you're in the first 20 years of your life, you're very worried what people think about you. In the second 20 years of your life, you don't care what people think about you anymore. But in the third 20 years of your life, you realize no one was thinking about you anyway. But we always think we are the center of existence. Everyone is looking at me. Everyone is seeing me. No, we are very small. We are very insignificant. And therefore, when we take ourselves out of the center, then we can love. Therefore, the first thing is one has to become very, very humble. OBL Kapoor, Adi Keshava Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, had come to Abhay, who was the pharmacist, one day, and he said, Abhay, I want to take the medicine that you're taking. Abhay, Srila Prabhupada said, what do you mean? I'm not sick, I don't take... No, what medicine are you taking that makes you such an advanced devotee of Krishna? Abhay looked at OBL Kapoor and he said, oh, that medicine. That medicine, I know the formula, but I have not been able to manufacture it yet. OBL Kapoor said, can you tell me the formula? Abhay said, that formula is an open secret. One day that formula will be preached all over the world. That formula, that medicine, Tranadapi, Sunichaina, Tarodapi, Sahishnana, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya, Sadahari. So where is that person who has become more humble than a blade of grass? Where is that person who has strung this verse on the thread of the holy name and constantly wears it around their neck? Where is that humble person? That humble person is the one who will be empowered. Watch out. It's not the one who has the most abilities. It's not the one who has the most facilities. It's not the one who has all the positions. No. It's the one who has humility. That person will do it. That person will become an instrument. That person was Srila Rupa Goswami. So in Ramkeli, we're learning that the foundation of empowerment is that one must become humble. Because when one becomes humble, they become perfect. So Mahaprabhu leaves Ramakeli, he initiates Rupa and Sanatan, and he says, don't worry, we will meet again. And meet again they do. The second meeting of Srila Rupa Goswami with Sriman Mahaprabhu is in Varanasi. Mahaprabhu has gone to Vrindavan his aspiration to see all the pastime places of Sri Krishna, he fulfills. And as Mahaprabhu is walking back from Vrindavan back to Jagannath Puri, then he stops in two places. The first place he stops is Varanasi. And in Varanasi for 2 months, Sriman Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatan Goswami. And then later on, Mahaprabhu stops in Prayag, Allahabad. And there at Dashashvamedha Ghat, for 10 days, Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Bhakti Tattva, Krishna Tattva, Rasa Tattva Pranta, Sabha, Sikhaila Prabhu, Bhagavat Siddhanta. In these 10 days, Mahaprabhu teaches Rupa Goswami everything. Krishna Tattva, all the truths about Krishna. Bhakti Tattva, all the truths about Bhakti. Rasa Tattva, all the truths about Rasa Tattva. Sabha, Sikhaila Prabhu, he teaches him everything. Bhagavat Siddhanta, he teaches him the conclusion of Bhagavatam. What is the conclusion of Bhagavatam? Shyamameva param rupam puri madhu puri vara veyakaishaurakam dhyayam adya eva parorasa. This is the conclusion of Bhagavatam. Shyama eva param rupam. The supreme form of Krishna is Shyam Sundar, who resides in Vrindavan. Puri Madhu Puri Vara. Of all places in the world, the most sacred places, Mathura Puri. Veya Kaishaurakam Dhyayam. The most beautiful age of Krishna is when Krishna is a Kaishora, a youthful boy. Adya Eva Paro Rasa. And what is the sweetest rasa? The rasa that Krishna has with the gopis of Vrindavan, the Adya, the Adi Ras, the Madhurya Ras, the Ujjvala Rasa of conjugal love. So Mahaprabhu illuminates Rupa Goswami with all of this incredible knowledge. And therefore the second meeting of Mahaprabhu with Rupa Goswami is all about education, training, how Mahaprabhu is instilling all of this incredible knowledge within Rupa Goswami. And then the final meeting between Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami takes place in Jagannath Puri. Rupa Goswami had met Mahaprabhu for 10 days in Varanasi, but 10 days was not enough. And therefore Rupa Goswami came again to Jagannath Puri, and this time he spent 10 months with Mahaprabhu. And there in Jagannath Puri, Rupa Goswami was residing. Mahaprabhu was calling all the devotees, and Mahaprabhu was glorifying Rupa Goswami, because Rupa Goswami was writing. And as Rupa Goswami was writing, Mahaprabhu was becoming completely amazed. Because Rupa Goswami was writing everything that was in the mind of Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu was in front of Jagannath and he was speechless, he couldn't say anything. Then later on, Rupa Goswami wrote a verse which was describing what Mahaprabhu was feeling and all the emotions that was going through Mahaprabhu's being. Mahaprabhu looked at Rupa Goswami and he said, "How could you understand my mind?" Later on, Mahaprabhu asked Swarup Damodar the same question. How did Rupa Goswami understand my mind? And Swarup Damodar said, "It's your fault, because you empowered him with all the conclusions." And therefore in this final meeting in Jagannath Puri, we are hearing about how Rupa Goswami became so empowered, became so much an empowered follower of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. His writing revealed the deepest truths. Kaviraj Goswami says, "What is the use of a bowman's arrow if it penetrates the heart but doesn't cause the head to spin? In the same way, what is the use of a poet's words if they penetrate the heart but they don't cause the mind to spin?" And so, Rupa Goswami's words indeed penetrated the heart and they caused Mahaprabhu's mind to spin. And therefore Rupa Goswami was glorified. So on this day, we are remembering these three things, of how Rupa Goswami began with humility, of how Rupa Goswami then was completely trained and educated, and then the net result of all of that was that Rupa Goswami became empowered. All of us should desire to become empowered. We want to become empowered not for our own glorification, for our own purposes, but we want to become empowered because we want to try to serve Srila Prabhupada in the best way we can. Here we are reading Caitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada said the ISKCON movement is the latest chapter of the Caitanya Charitamrita. Adyapiha Shay Leela Kaha Gaura Roy Kona Kona Bhagyavan Dekhi Barapoy. Adyapiha Shay Leela Kaha Gaura Roy. Gauranga's pastimes are going on even today. Kona Kona Bhagyavan, but who is that very fortunate person? Dekhi Barapoy, they will be able to see Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So yes, we are living in the times of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. These pastimes are going on even today. And if we desire to become part of those pastimes, then we also have to develop that humility. We also have to become trained and educated in understanding the deepest desires of Guru Gauranga. And then we have to endeavor and put effort and in this way become empowered. This is the purpose of our life. And today, here as we remember Rupa Goswami's life, here as we are in ISKCON Juhu, Srila Prabhupada's office, we make a deep prayer that let us become part of this movement. Srila Prabhupada was on public television and he said, I'm begging you, help me to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. This is our mission, this is our life, this is the heart of our parampara, to spread Krishna consciousness. And today, just as Srila Prabhupada was praying to Rupa Goswami in Radha Damodar temple, we are also praying to Rupa Goswami that let us become empowered, let us become qualified, let us become full participants in the Sankirtan movement of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I ended a little bit early, just to offer some extra time for questions and answers. So if anyone has some question, then happy to. So very good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful class. महाराज, आपने हम्बल होने की बात कही है, तो रिसेंटली मैं खुद के बारे में पूछना चाहता हूँ कि रिसेंटली मेरे बारे में कुछ रूमर्स फैलाए गए हैं कुछ, और वो बातें सब झूठी है। सब टेम्पल अथॉरिटी ने इन्वेस्टिगेट किया, वो सब बातें झूठी निकली। मुझे किसने पूछा, वो 2 नाम भी मुझे पता है। बट क्या है ना महाराज, मुझे भी चाहिए कि मैं उनके खिलाफ कोई एक्शन न लूँ, कुछ न लूँ। बट मेरा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इस्कॉन आने से पहले मैं एक माफिया गैंगस्टर की लाइफ जीता था, सच में, ट्रूली। तो दिन भर में तो मैं एंगेज रहता हूँ, तो मुझे कुछ नहीं आता। बस रात में मैं जब सोने जाता हूँ तो कुछ नहीं, माइंड, अरे उसने मेरे बारे में ऐसा बोला, उसको ऐसी सजा दूंगा, वैसी सजा दूंगा। मैं सो नहीं पा रहा हूँ। मैं चैंटिंग करता हूँ तो चलते चलते, और दिमाग में प्लानिंग करता हूँ कि उनको कैसे फिनिश करूँ। तो मुझे ये नहीं करना है, तो उसको मैं कैसे बेयर करूँ। एक ने मुझे सोल्यूशन दिया था, पंचिंग बैग लटकाओ, उस पर फोटो लगाओ और उसको पंचिंग करो, आपका गुस्सा निकल जाएगा। बट वो कुछ आप बता सकते हैं इसके बारे में, मैं कैसे इसको फेस करूँ, कैसे हम्बल बनूं मैं?
Maharaj ji, so Prabhuji was saying that before coming to Krishna consciousness, he used to live a life like a gangster. And right now, there are some rumors in the temple which have been put up by some people, and the temple authorities have been investigated, and these all turned out to be false. But now he asked his authorities what to do while chanting. Sometimes he can't concentrate on the mantra. He thinks of how to finish them, and sometimes at night he is unable to sleep also. So his authorities told him that you can take a punching bag, put on his photos, and try doing that. So, but he doesn't want to think in this way. So, could you please help? What can be done? Some solution?
If he feels bad against someone.
Yeah,
some
because of the rumors that has been spread.
By this person.
Yeah.
He goes bad. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anyway, at least you'll develop big muscles from the punching bag. You can use that for Krishna. When you try to do something for Krishna, there will always be opposition. Srila Prabhupada said, when I was in Mayapur, my godbrothers were opposing me. When I was in Vrindavan, the caste Goswamis were opposing me. When I was in Mumbai, the municipality was opposing me. When I was in America, the deprogrammers were opposing me. Factually, wherever I went, people were opposing me. Opposition is good. If you don't have any opposition, probably it means you're not doing anything. So the more opposition, Srila Prabhupada said, the more they are feeling the weight of this movement. So therefore, it is natural, whenever we try to do something for Krishna, there will be opposing factors. You don't need to be told that. You are here in Juhu. You all know the story better than me. But what did Srila Prabhupada say? It was a good fight. So the Vaishnav relishes the fight. But the Vaishnav never becomes passionate. The Vaishnav never becomes imbalanced. The Vaishnav never loses their cool. Yesterday, Srila Prabhupada, we were discussing, isn't it? He told the lady, we want warm legs and a cool head. So keep a cool head. They say the mouth should be like a sweet factory and the head should be like a ice factory. Sweet words and a cool head. We will conquer this world not by aggression. We will conquer this world not by kicking and screaming, but we will conquer this world by having deep love and compassion. And that deep love and compassion will ultimately conquer people more than aggression. But sometimes we have to be assertive. Sometimes we have to stand up. Sometimes we have to fight, as Srila Prabhupada fought. But don't let that fighting cause you to lose your good consciousness. A Vaishnav can become angry, but Srila Prabhupada said the anger of a Vaishnav is like an ocean. On the surface there are waves, but deep inside, one is very, very calm. So if you can have that kind of anger, then it's okay. But if it's waves on the outside and waves on the inside, krodhat bhavati sammoha, then you may lose your intelligence and do something not very good. So some anger is good, and then a lot of love. And in this way we will spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna. So I see many hands.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you very much for the very wonderful class. I have been reading some of your articles and your book, Gita 3, and the previous short article that you had published on Gita Life. It was quite inspiring. I'm very fascinated by your writings and the way you present. So my question is, in the purport, very nice statement towards the end. It is written that if you stick to the regulative principles and preach sincerely according to the instructions of the acharyas, surely they will have the profound blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and their preaching work will be successful everywhere. So you have been doing such amazing work out there, in the Bhaktivedanta manner and the Pandav Sena, and the way you have developed such amazing materials in a very innovative way. So in regards to this particular statement, sometimes it may appear to ourselves and to others that we don't have to do anything new. We just have to follow the traditional, the orthodox style of the preaching. And here, when it's written in the purport about instructions of the acharyas, so how to really understand and keep up the spirit of, going on with this innovative strategies of preaching and trying to, preach to classes and the masses also, keeping this particular point in picture, if you can throw some light on this.
So much. So, when preaching, we have to preserve, but at the same time, we have to adapt. We have to preserve the essence. We have to preserve the principles, but then we have to adapt the specifics. We have to adapt the details. All of our acharyas who preach did this. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the example of the Ganga. He said the Ganga is always changing its course. So if you go to the same place year after year and you say, I will bathe in the Ganga because last year I bathed here in the Ganga, but then the Ganga is always changing course. So if you want to get the mercy of Ganga, then you have to also move. So therefore the acharyas were always adjusting. But when we're adjusting, we have to make sure that we preserve the principle and only adjust the detail. One time Shrutakirti Prabhu asked Srila Prabhupada, how do I know what is a principle and how do I know what is a detail? Srila Prabhupada was quiet for some time and then he said, that requires a little intelligence. So Srila Prabhupada was adjusting. He adjusted his presentation. He adjusted his language. He adjusted his activities. When Srila Prabhupada was in America, he did Harinam. But when Srila Prabhupada brought the devotees to India, he said, no Harinam, people will look at it in a different way. We need to approach here in a different way. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, he used different language. When he was in 26 2nd Avenue and a hippie stood up and said, what is the spiritual world like? Srila Prabhupada could have said, Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambhrama Sevyamanam. But he didn't. Prabhupada said the spiritual world is like an ocean of LSD. That was impressive. LSD, ocean, sounds like my kind of place. Yes, the hippies were inspired because Srila Prabhupada knew how to reach their heart. If you want to take someone somewhere, first you have to meet them where they are. So therefore we have to be smart. We have to know what are the needs, what are the interests, what are the concerns of people in the world. And then we have to show them how everything they're looking for is contained within the Bhagavad Gita. I want to know how to make good decisions. Don't worry, just read the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I want to know how to find love. Don't worry, just read the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I want to know how I can avoid stress. Don't worry, just read the 14th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I want to know how to find my purpose. Don't worry, just read the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, because Krishna explained everything. If you want a new idea, go to an old book, because Krishna already gave the knowledge. So first thing is we have to study deeply. We have to absorb all the knowledge in Srila Prabhupada's books. And then we will realize that everything everyone is looking for has already been given. Only we have to now be expert to reach people and give it to them in a way that they can digest it. That is the small work that Srila Prabhupada left for us. So yes, we are trying. Let us do that more and more. And in this way, Srila Prabhupada will be glorified.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, yeah, I'm here. So Maharaj, thank you for the brilliant and eloquent class. Maharaj, my question is again on humility. My two questions. First question is, we have observed that whenever you are in a managerial post or when you are in a great power, in an organization, it is a tendency to be proud. And also, like we know that with power comes corruption, but also with great power comes great responsibility. So could you please share some practical tips of how to develop humility when you are at a particular powerful post? And my second question is, Maharaj, sometimes when you feel that, if you are humble, many other people will take you for a ride or will take you for granted or will take undue advantage of your humility. So how to deal in such situation? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sometimes we are in a position, we rise in the ladder, we rise in the ISKCON ladder, and then we can become proud. The first thing is that a devotee always remembers, who was I? Where did I come from? Some years ago, I was just someone out there in the material world, drowning. And then the devotees picked me up. Sanatana Goswami looks at Mahaprabhu and he said, factually, I am simply made of your mercy. Therefore, we should never forget where we came from. Isn't it? Even sometimes the star cricketers, the Tendulkars and I don't know who is, Sehwag, is it? What they do sometimes is they go back to the field in Mumbai where they were playing as a kid and they remember, oh, this is where I started. So we should always remember, who are we? Even when we have position, name, fame. I thought about that recently. They used to call me Sandeep. And then I joined the temple and they called me Bhakta Sandeep. And then I got initiated and they called me Sutapadas. And then I stayed for some time in the movement and they called me Sutapa Prabhu. And then nowadays they call me a Swami. And then what is behind all of those names? A Swami, a Bhakta, a Das, a Prabhu. Different names. But the material world is a river of names. Names come and go. Behind all of that is just a spirit soul trying to find Krishna. So how much seriously are you going to take a name? So we should always remember where we came from, number one. Number two, when we rise to positions of power, then we should use that power to empower others. The correct use of power is not to bring people down. The correct use of power is to bring people up. And therefore, when you're in a powerful position, use that power to make other people powerful. Use that power to bring people to a level where they can make their greatest contribution. Don't just be a leader, but be a servant leader. And in that way, see that your service as a leader is to help people grow. And then, when we rise to power, we can always step out of our role sometimes and just be a menial servant. Sometimes it's nice when we can just step out of our role and sweep the floor. Maharaj Prachaparudra did it, isn't it? And he got the full mercy, because when Mahaprabhu had seen that Prachaparudra, who was the king, just came in front of the Jagannath temple and started sweeping, then he said, oh, that humility, that touches me. He brought himself down to the humble position. That's very wonderful. So sometimes we can also just come down and do some menial service. And remember, just a das, just a servant. So these are some things. And then your second question is, when we're becoming humble, then sometimes people may take advantage. See, humility is not an external thing. Humility is an internal thing. Srila Prabhupada was humble. But Srila Prabhupada said, in business, no one can defeat me. I'm a Calcutta boy. So Srila Prabhupada was streetwise. Srila Prabhupada was strong. Srila Prabhupada was like a man of steel. Resilient, powerful, a leader in all ways, but at the same time, internally, very, very humble. Because any time anyone glorified him, he said, it is only the mercy of my Guru Maharaj. So humility means that internally, we place ourselves as an insignificant servant at Krishna's lotus feet. But externally, we play out whatever role we have to play in order to get the service of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu done. But in the beginning and end of the day, we always realize, just a servant, just a humble soul playing this role. Is that okay? All your questions are so beautiful. We could say so many things, but just sharing some immediate thoughts. I see many hands. I don't know when I should stop. Vajahari Prabhu, you tell me when to eject. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my most respectful obeisances. Maharaj, your classes are exactly what you told right now, because it seems every class is tailor-made for me, because each class, when you talk of an anartha, I realize that I have that. I didn't even realize that I had it. So very beautiful classes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Maharaj, my question is, you mentioned humility is an essential characteristic. We all know, only then we can do Kirtaniya Sadahari. But in Bhagavatam also it says, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarver Gunes Tatra Samasvati Sura. So do we have to specially endeavor to develop humility? Or just by practicing devotional service with a sincere heart, do we develop those qualities? Because sometimes, even after having practiced for many years, we find that we are so conditioned to our past that it does not go away easily and the qualities don't actually develop. And I have a second question, Maharaj, if you permit.
I just do this one first.
Yes, yes.
My memory is like a fish. Do we have to cultivate humility, or is humility a perfection that comes from devotional service? Both are true. If we don't deliberately cultivate humility in the stage of a sadhaka, then definitely we will commit offenses. Definitely we will transgress boundaries of etiquette. And in this way we would impede the flow of our devotional service. Therefore we say one should chant in a humble state of mind. We should chant in a humble state of mind. So therefore, in the beginning, we are not humble. Let's face it, we are not humble. In the morning, we go down and we pray, Tranadapi Sunichena, and then as we're getting up, someone steps on us and we say, hey! We are not humble. But if we're not, but we can take the humble position, isn't it? We may not be humble, we can take the humble position. So in the beginning, in the stage of a sadhaka, we are trying to take the humble position. Then later on, once we have prema, then the humility comes. Because when we have love, when there is prema, then dainya has to come. Then that kind of humility is the most natural type of humility, because one is understanding the greatness of Krishna, and in relation to Krishna, one is feeling so insignificant. Therefore, the Premi Bhakta, what is said in the Caitanya Charitamrita, Premera svabhavayaha premera sambandh, se mane Krishna mora, nahi prema gandh. Premera svabhav, the very characteristic of someone who has prema. Say mane, they believe in their consciousness. Say mane Krishna mora, nahi prema gandh. The Premi Bhakta is thinking, I don't have a drop of love for Krishna. That is the perfection of humility. But in the beginning, we have to take the humble position. And then true humility will come about from prema. Is that okay?
Maharaj, you mentioned in answer to Prabhu's question that Prabhupada was externally powerful and he was a leader. At the same time, inside he was filled with humility, right? He's a Mahabhagavata. But as a sadhaka, like you mentioned, we need to develop humility also, or we need to take a humble position. So since, like you said, being powerful or being a leader is so natural to us, basis of our previous conditioning, that when we are trying to develop a humble position, it seems like there is a dichotomy in the way we are handling ourselves, right? We are trying to be not what we are, but we want to maintain that when we are dealing with the external world, like that, like in the offices or something like that. Because when we artificially, because that's what we are trying to do, right? When we are taking a humble position, we are artificially trying to become humble while we don't really feel humility in our heart. At least that is true for myself, because I'm artificially trying to develop humility because I know it is essential for me to advance in Krishna consciousness.
But you don't feel like that.
So how, Maharaj, I hope I made my question clear. I'm not able to express myself.
It's a very good question. Yes, we do not feel humble. We're artificially expressing some humility. See, we have to fake it till we make it. But there are some footnotes. Footnote number 1. Don't fake it so much that you think you've made it. Footnote number 2, don't fake it just to convince other people that you've made it. Footnote number 3, don't fake it without a deep desire to actually make it. So yes, we are acting a little bit when we are expressing our humility. But then we are praying within that, let this become my true spirit. Another aspect of developing humility is we need people to humble us. Yes. Feedback. Can you take feedback from someone else? They say feedback is the breakfast of champions. Are you ready to take the bitter pill of feedback? When was the last time someone came to you and said, Mataji, I think you're doing something wrong? Yes, that's very good. When we are amongst people who can humble us, that is very nice. Even Caitanya Mahaprabhu came in front of Ishvara Puri. And what happened? Murkha tumi tomar nahik vedantadikar. Krishna mantra japa sada, ei mantra sar. Ishwar Puri looked at Mahaprabhu and said, Murkha tumi, you're a fool. Tomar nahik vedantadikar, you don't have any qualification to study Vedanta. Krishna mantra japa sada, ei mantra sar. Just give it all up and chant Krishna's names. Yes, it's very good to be humbled. Srila Prabhupada, when he came in front of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, no, how we will preach all of this? First we have to become free from the British rule. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, this movement is so urgent, it doesn't require a change in India's politics. Prabhupada said, I was defeated, but I was very happy to be defeated. So therefore, one must have people around them that humble them. People around them that don't see their position or their greatness, but they just tell you for who you are. Mothers are good for that. I was meditating in my life that in my life, all my relationships changed. But the only relationship which never changed was the relationship with my mother. It doesn't matter if you're a Swami. It doesn't matter if you have a Danda. It doesn't matter what position you have by your name. When you come in front of your mother, you are just like a child. And she'll talk to you just like a child. So that's very nice. Because then when you are surrounded by people who are not seeing you for your position, who are not seeing you for your title, but who are seeing you in just a deeper way, then they can help you to realize yourself beyond your titles and positions. So therefore, let us surround ourselves with people who can help us to see who we really are. That is very wonderful. Sure. Mataji wants an acronym to develop humility. Some homework. Your servant.
हरे कृष्ण। कोई भक्त हमारा अपराध करते हैं और हम उसको क्षमा करते हैं तो श्री श्री राधा रस बिहारी हम पर प्रसन्न होते हैं। जब प्रभु प्रसन्न होंगे तब जीवन होगा सफल।
Can someone translate Hindi 50%? Gujarati 50%.
Hare Krishna. If some devotee commit offenses against us and we forgive them, then Sri Sri Radharasvali becomes very pleased with us. And that is the success of life. If Radharas is pleased, then nothing is their loss. So that is the perfection of life. You want to please Radharas Bihari, you forgive the offenses of the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, we must forgive. When it comes to other people's mistakes, we are like judges. And when it comes to our own mistakes, we are like lawyers. Isn't it? It's interesting how we are able to change position very quickly. When people make a mistake, if sometimes someone may do something wrong, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. We also made mistakes. Are we going to carry some bad feeling against someone for the rest of our life? Life is too short. Therefore, kshantir avyartha kalatvam. Rupa Goswami says, first we must forgive. If we don't forgive others, Krishna may not forgive us. And therefore, thank you. This is a very nice point.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I apologize, I was late, I knew about it, but still I made it. due to you and due to Krishna. Okay, and as I was late, so whatever I could grasp right now was that, as you said, that leader, right? So everybody follows the leader, obviously, but as of now, as of today, how many really follow the leader? Secondly, you said that feedback. Okay, I generally do take feedback positively, and I give feedback also in the same way and right on the face, not behind somebody's back. Secondly, but still nobody wants to take that feedback. Thirdly, like, huh, uh, one more thing. Like now you said that we generally follow what Krishna says, okay? And yes, we all follow, but how far do we go? How far do we go? Do we really go that far where we are much closer to Him? Is that true? Yes. How many feel true and how many don't feel true? Thanks for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful points. Yes. Yes, we should follow leaders. Yad yad achariti shreshthas tatareva taro jana. We should find leaders. Who is a leader? One who knows the way, one who goes the way, and one who can show the way. That is a leader. So when we find such qualified people, then we should follow them. Srila Prabhupada was such a leader, and Srila Prabhupada has so many qualified followers who then, because they're following Srila Prabhupada, they also become leaders. So you have to follow someone. If you don't follow the leaders who are qualified, if you decide to accept your guru, then you will be yourself. If you decide to follow your mind, then you will be the follower of your mind. You will be led. That will become your guru. So yes, find a guru who you can have full faith in. And how far do we go? You go as far as how much you have faith in. You may not surrender to someone fully, immediately, but as you develop more and more faith in that person, as you develop more and more faith in Krishna, then you learn to let go, and then you can fully surrender to them, you can fully follow them. That is what Arjun said to Krishna, Sarvametadritam manye yanmam vadashi Keshava. I accept totally everything you say, Krishna, in full. Karishye vachanam tava. I'm ready to follow and act according to your instruction. So we want to come to that point one day where we can have full faith in Krishna. Rakshishyati di vishvasho. The complete faith that if I follow Krishna, Krishna will fully protect me. So it's a journey. That is where we're trying to go. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. And I had one question to ask. I was actually contemplating if I should or should not, because I have this very nasty habit of wanting to give my opinion or expressing my ideas at everything. And I have received feedback from my authorities that is not usually required. And that's not very appropriate also. But I am artificially suppressing this desire. I've been trying to do this from January. It's been 8 months. But I still am not able to come over this. And this still haunts me. Sometimes I keep it to myself and then I end up either it gives me sleepless nights or I dream of giving my opinion to somebody. So how do I handle this issue?
My opinion is you see, all of us are living in this society. We are seeing so many things, isn't it? And we are seeing so many things that could be changed, so many things that could be improved. It's not difficult to have an opinion. Kaler doshani de rajan. Asti hiye ko mahan guna. Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. So it's not difficult to form opinions and ideas on how things can improve, because around us we are always seeing imperfection. But Krishna explains what is the art of speaking. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat svadhyaya bhyasanam cheva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Don't just speak that which is truthful, but also speak that which is priyam and hitam, pleasing and beneficial. What is the value of sharing an opinion if it is not going to improve things? What is the value of sharing an opinion if it's not going to empower, enthuse, and uplift people? When we share our opinions, but we don't consider these things, then that sharing of opinions becomes damaging to our life, and it becomes damaging to the people we share our opinions with. Therefore, it's not a crime to share your opinions, but just make sure what you're sharing is truthful, what you're sharing is shared in a way that is pleasing and beneficial. So often in the Krishna consciousness movement, it's not so much what we say, but it's how we say it, who we say it to, when we say it, and with what spirit we say it. Therefore, when we learn this art of how to speak, then our life is going in a positive direction. So you don't have to censor yourself. It's good that you have opinions, and many of those opinions may be good because they will help the temple to improve, they will help people to improve. But just make sure you say the truthful thing at a time, in a way, to a person which is pleasing and beneficial. Then it will be fine. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the class and question and answers. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, yesterday you told that I read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam. But when I read Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit, and I convinced and I dedicated my life. So can you please share some of the incidents of Srila Prabhupada that inspire you a lot? Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada was a living Bhagavata. He had all the aspects to his personality. On one side, Srila Prabhupada was a complete scholar. He knew Shastra like anything. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada was so streetwise. He knew how to make things happen in the material world. That's amazing. On one hand, Srila Prabhupada was so humble. In the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam, he cites, I'm just praying that one day I will make one disciple, so that that disciple will become so pure that he will carry me back home, back to Godhead. So humble. And at the same time, Srila Prabhupada for Krishna's service could be so strong, could be so heavy, could be so cutting. Srila Prabhupada said, I do not make any distinction. I criticize everyone equally. Srila Prabhupada was a sadhu. He could have cutting words. Tatodu sangamutsrija sadhu satseta buddhiman shanta evasya chindanti manovya sangamuktibi. His words were razor sharp. Manovya sangamuktibi, and he could cut the attachments within the living entity by his razor sharp words. Humble but strong. Srila Prabhupada was living in the spiritual world with Krishna. When he would sing Jaya Radha Madhav, then he would be in Vrindavan. When Srila Prabhupada would see the deities, then he was with Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada would see a picture, then he was entering into that scene. Srila Prabhupada was so much in the material, spiritual world. But then Srila Prabhupada came down to the material world and he just related to people in such a nice way. When Srila Prabhupada was staying in Butler, Pennsylvania, yes it is. Then the child bridge in the home of the Agarwals, even the child fell in love with Srila Prabhupada, and he used to call Srila Prabhupada Swami Jesus. Yes, Srila Prabhupada was in the spiritual world, but then he was so kind, he was so human, he was so able to relate to anyone. That is amazing. Who can do such things? Only a Mahabhagavat. So when we see Srila Prabhupada was managing a worldwide movement, but then to every single individual, he was showing personal concern. Srila Prabhupada was conducting such big projects, but then he was having attention to every single detail. In Krishna Balaram temple, he was calling in the middle of the night, why hasn't the chokidar rung the bell? The bell must ring. You think, my God, there's a whole big movement going on. If the bell doesn't ring, it's okay. No, Srila Prabhupada was paying attention to detail. So when you look at every aspect of Srila Prabhupada's personality, then you think, this is an incredible person. So yes, Srila Prabhupada has captured our mind. Sometimes they ask Kadamba Maharaj, you must feel very bad because you came to the movement in 1978. You just missed Srila Prabhupada. You must feel so bad that you never met Srila Prabhupada. He said, I'm meeting Srila Prabhupada every single day. I'm meeting Srila Prabhupada. I'm meeting Srila Prabhupada in his books. I'm meeting Srila Prabhupada, who is carried in the hearts of all his followers. I'm meeting Srila Prabhupada in the mission of ISKCON. I'm coming face to face with Srila Prabhupada every day because the spiritual master lives forever in his instructions and the follower lives with him. And therefore he said, we can meet Srila Prabhupada even today. Hare Krishna. I see the time going on. I don't mind carrying. Should I just carry on or should we stop? Or I don't want to interrupt the program. Yes, so there are many more questions, but maybe that is for another time. I thank you so much for your kindness, for your wonderful example, for allowing us to come here and share some words on this day of the disappearance of Srila Rupa Goswami. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Caitanya Charitamrita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.